Today, Rinpoche explained how the dependent origination is the core teaching of the Buddha and the utmost teaching to be praised. Stanza 30?
Yes. Where we left, we finished stanza 30.
Okay, that's I think about where we're...
Did I read you this? Where did I do it, French?
That's where we finished.
Dunshin, Jene. Dunshin. Dunshin, Jeek. Nay. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay, so just let me put on my microphone. What? That just happened. You saw it, right? I'll figure it out. Okay, so we are currently on stanza number 31. Let me just get the English that you guys have. I don't know if I have a copy of that. Do we have any of those handouts by chance? I don't think I have one. I may. I'm sorry. I just made you get up for nothing. I found it. Yeah, I got it. My apologies. Okay, so it's stanza 31 in the English. And just once again, for everybody, just as an introduction, we are currently looking at Lama Tsongkhapa's praise of dependent origination. And we are using Junu Jetsun Drapa Shidrup's commentary in order to explain that. And we are currently on stanza number 31 in the English. Well, it would be the same, but anyone who's following in the English, it's stanza number 31. Okay. Digsung Rinpoche. Rim de Goreng et Sampa Dejin Jine Lezong Ba de Nyamdu Yomarebe Dunchi
Tamale Chinzaro.
Then this Shiloka Yomare, then Nyamdu Yomare. Yeah. That's so.
Gobatanjarin to Juro.
That's so.
Nyagunzo Dushero.
That's so.
Fujitenle Shishube, Ring and Watenshi Jan.
That's so.
Shijana Pebajin, Dazo Tawatenshiro. Lemon, Kibin Denije, Chetakundu, Chujuba, the Daki Kondene. Chola Chishukuman Juros, what about Mara?
So,
that is in the lesson of Shajaman Budagi and the Chutanji, Nandu Kanda in the Tunjizine, Koloton Babala Soba Muchuma Songa Yoris, Tunjizine lesson bar, Church Jesulobala, Tende in Sonta, Tunjitawajin to Zine, Church Kolokoba Yenzan, Shajaman Buddha Church, Jesulobala, Gobatanjarin to Churos. Jusen Garazana, Nyagunza Dujaros. What is a marvel? Shajamundu Budaki 20,000 to Zine, Chuchukulkuba Yenzan, and the Shajamundu Buddha Church Jesulobala, Gubatanji Rintu Juro, Gubatanji Rintu Juros, and the Gubatanji Yomaba Shi, Gubak Nolatari Machanagres. Jusen Garazana, Nyagunza Dujaros, Nyabagunjitawa, Denzi. Dubisharos, what things about the Yaguta Dusharos.
less so.
Church Tenley Shishubi, Shajaman Budi, Temple Shishubi, 연ring wa ta shuru bala so ba to 연ring kale mo jo no chue je ba yin na ya 연ring wa ta she jang shi shi jun no be ba yin ne shu go lo jun mo la yung res be ba yin ju sen ka res na da do ta wa ten je ros ka ja da do ba de ta ten be yo ta no wa de ge jun mo la de res e ma o ke ben de ni je che ba kon du chu jo was 다도 주반 생각다 다도 타와 니가들 쳐봐대 네 와데 콘도 주줘봐
The Shilopidawa, Dang Nampidawa, Chapa.
텐다버는 다버로다
Okay. Lesso?
최 예마오 기빈데니 제 쳐봐 콘도 주줘봐스 다도 주봐 켈랭가다 다도 마루바 켈랭가니들 쳐봐대네 셰그레스 콘도 주줘봐
Ale.
그래서 간 콘은 철라지 그래서 간 콘에네 사자문으로다 철라 지실 고면 줄었어 지실 고바 맞아도 고바시고 그래서 진사래
Lesso. Revere. Respect. Okay, so in the commentary, we find that the three stanzas are actually put together into one kind of thought. So it reads. Let me read them first, and then I'll go over some of the points Rinpoche made. All of the points Rinpoche made. 31. You who speak excellently by seeing as it is, for those who train in your footsteps, all degenerations will become remote. For the root of all faults will be undone. But those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults increase ever more as if being called forth, for they make firm the view of self. Aha, when the wise comprehend the differences between the two, why would they not at that point revere you from the depths of their being? And now I'm going to just read the alternative translation because I find that it just brings some more meaning sometimes. And you can kind of compare the two, beginning with 31. Once you have gained true realization, you then taught well. Those who follow you rid themselves of problems by destroying the roots of evil. Those who turn away from your teaching, though they struggle long and hard, only invite more problems because their self-grasping view is firmly held. Amazing when the wise understand the difference between these two. Why wouldn't they feel respect for you from the very marrow of their bones? So this is speaking to Buddha Shakyamuni. So when we see once you gain true realization, this is referring to Buddha Shakyamuni, and it's saying that Buddha knows all phenomena. Buddha has achieved the state of omniscience, and has then, as a result, presented the nature of reality and so forth in the various turnings of the wheel of Dharma, the first turning of the wheel of the Four Noble Truths and the second turning and so forth. So the Buddha has expressed from omniscience the points of the paths and so forth. So it says based on the Buddha's realization, he then he taught well. Now, why did he taught what? It says, you then taught well those who follow you. What would teaching well be? It says it rids them of the problems of destroying self. So what has been taught is something that allows one to get rid of the afflictive obstructions and the obstructions to omniscience. So it says, rid themselves of problems by destroying the roots of evil. The grasping at the true establishment is the ultimate root, but we also find the afflictions are the roots of evil, because we find that the afflictions then create the karma, as a translator's note. So it says, once Buddha Shakyamuni became a knower, meaning realized all phenomena, you then taught well those who follow you, rid themselves of problems by destroying the roots of evil. So the reason that the Buddha's teaching is something that we say you then taught well those who follow you. Teaching them well is teaching them how to destroy the roots of evil. So that's the reasoning behind that. And then it says, so you who speak excellently by seeing as it is, seeing the nature of reality. For those who train in your footsteps, all degenerations will become remote, for the root of all faults will be undone. That's from the main text. And so number 32, but those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults increase ever more as if being called forth, for they make firm the view of self. It is the grasping at self which is truly the root of all of the cyclic existence and root of all suffering. So it's saying that not only do they turn away, by turning away from the teaching, they experience hardship, they experience suffering, but it actually reinforces the view that is incorrect, that causes it to take place in the first place. So it says, faults increase ever more as if being called forth, for they make firm the view of self, the grasping at self as being truly established. So it's from that we see the afflictions arise, being the afflictive obstructions and the obstructions to omniscience, and then from that the karma arises. And then it says, aha, when the wise comprehend the differences between the two, the Buddha and those who turn away from the Buddha. So seeing that the Buddha's teaching allows you to, for the root of all your faults will be undone, and then by not following it, though you may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults increase ever more. So it says, aha, when the wise comprehend the difference between the two, these two types of being, those who are a Buddha and those who have turned away from what the Buddha has taught, why would they not at that point revere you from the depths of your heart? Why wouldn't that cause an immediate respect to take place once you look at both of these two types of beings? Why wouldn't you immediately revere the Buddha once you see the difference between the two? Diksung Rinpoche.
Tatin jebatlo watene nelu jidon jetawa jitu zine le barasombi tomba cheju jesu loba shebe loba dajun la chasu ji kunjun dan te jambe donge ju guba jan ren du guba ta ren du chose ren du joba te pombi jusen yete tada gunje zawa ngobo rajin ji tuban zemba rajin tuban zembe ne data lenji duba te pombi shiros nyagun zawa du shiros redwa dubi shiro teyan rin do jur sheba nyagun rin du jur sheba tara jola jawangi ter Geshe Njongwa Jin Geshe Toba Shene Dajun Kona La Shemugo Sos
The Dondagare Rinpoche. The Donda.
Neguto Dusha Hotel in the Hijaz Marba. Never going to Tawas.
Nyeko, the Nyepa Kanga, Dungyal Kanga.
Never going to Tawa Ngabura Jiz to Banzebe. Dado tawa lenje denzin lenje do kunda ni ro lenje doba de bombe eser ne kunda do jero ne kunda kuda de denzin lenje ma do kunda ja mare o de lenje de bombe eser o de ne kunda do jero teya rin do joro sheba rin do sheba tar jelas jela jawan ten joshe Jongwa Jin Juzi Tuba Shena Dajun Kona La Shemu Sos what the Dajun Konal Gogo Marete and then Luban of the Zula Kuchugores.
The Lenche, the Sanlogu, the Jutsengu, the Gunta Lenche, the the Chapagar, the Gunta.
The Hejima to Gunda Jagamaza. Gunda Kuza the Denzin Hejimatu. And then the Gunda Jagamari, what they later. The
Lenche, the Sanlogu, Jutsengu. It's
Jochen Lama Tuba Damba Druban Battle Hedges.
okay.
Jochen La Ten Damba Druban Battle Quinta Lagro.
Okay.
The
Jutsu.
Kuita, the Hedge Matu, Kunta Yu Marisson.
Okay.
Mobile Druban Zimbi, Dazin, Data, Jit, Hedge Duba, the Bombisheros, Kuita, Hedge, Duba, the Bombi Ezra. They are into Jurisheba, Tar Jula, Jangi Tunjur, Shen Jongajin, and Josi Tuba Shena, Rajun Kona Shemagos, Jurus at Maubare, Jurusana Tatawa. What does Geshe there?
Okay, so this is now we find the commentary, and I asked Rinpoche just to give a quick summary of it because it'd be too hard for me to just quickly try to translate this whole thing as we've seen before. So Junu Jetsun Drapa Shidrip's commentary basically says is that when we look at what the root of all of our problems is, we look to what the root is, we will find that the root isn't the artificial, let me just check something out. So when we look to what the root of it is, we find that it is the grasping at things as being inherently existent to be the root of all the troubles that we can have. So when we look for what the root of all troubles is, we find that it is the grasping at things as being inherently or intrinsically existent. So all the suffering that arises because of this misconception. So it's this misconception that has to be gotten rid of. So the reason that we say, going back to the text, that you speak excellently after seeing as it is for those who train in your footsteps, all degenerations become remote, for the root of all faults will be undone. So that when we look to what the root of all faults is, we'll find that it is the grasping at true establishment. And what the Buddha saw is what enables everyone to get rid of that grasping, and then therefore get rid of all troubles, get rid of all types of suffering. So I just want to look up one thing here, Lenche, before I get caught. Lenche. Yeah, I just want to make sure I was translating it properly. So it is the natural afflictions, the not the artificial, that we ultimately need to get rid of. And if we look at what the difference is, the natural grasping arises without any kind of reasoning necessary. It just naturally arises. Artificial requires one to use incorrect mental conduct to arrive at it being truly established. So the artificial needs reasons that you make up to establish it as being truly established. But the natural is something that naturally just abides as a grasping at true establishment that we have. So it's that, according to Junu Jetsun Drapa Shidrip's commentary, that needs to be gotten rid of. When we look at those two, the natural and the artificial, of course, it's not saying that the artificial don't need to be gotten rid of, but it's saying that the real root, when we trace it back, is this natural, the natural afflictions, not the artificial. So it is the Buddha is seeing the nature of reality. It is the nature of reality that is the antidote to the misconception that misunderstands what that nature is. So the true nature serves as an opponent to that. And let me just see, 30. So seeing all things as having some inherent establishment and then grasping at it in this natural non-artificial way is what needs to be abandoned, and what the Buddha presents abandons it. So it's for this reason that we say that. Then Yun Tenpa, okay, the Yun Tenpa Chuji Denpa Le.
Yang Tenpa Chuji Denpa Le. Shuru Jubita, Shuru Batula, Shuru Batnaje, Dani Dongel Dru Cheto, Yun Rembu College of Waters, Katu Trabu, Newa, Temper She Chance, Shishir de Layan, Rinji Chasu Juna, Kuja Judindo, Shuji Babajindo, and June Madru Jusen Yute, Tadaki, Tadala, Junjizawa, Henji no Kundachi, Dadu, Tawa, Temple Yubisha, Dadu Tawa Tenshiro said the Red was Shuribula, Kazaka, Debatran, Henji to Kunda, Temple Yusan, and the Koto, Dungel Drea Kalima Jaguar, the Trutu Mares, Dunget Yaja Yundu Waters. Then you could have had Temple Yusan, the Latine, and joined to the Yundu Waters. You'll be sure.
So then the next part of the commentary goes on to explain that the non-Buddhist view causes lengthy suffering, and as a result of this suffering, causes that person to grasp more and more, and this is just so it's saying, it's basically citing the same thing. But those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults increase ever more as if being called forth, for they make firm the view of self. And so basically, it's saying that if someone rejects the teaching and instead relies on performing other things for a long time, they're going to still continue to experience problems, even though they're doing some practices that they think will counteract something. They're not doing the practices as presented. So even though they may be practicing things for a very long time, so the meaning within this is saying that though they may be practicing their tradition for a very long time and struggling with it, they're still going to have more problems. They're still going to experiencing more suffering, just as if they were inviting it. So as if they were asking the suffering to come. So their tradition, even though they're practicing hard and suffering and giving things up, it's actually like inviting more suffering on, and because it's reaffirming the view of the incorrect view of self. And when we look at what another way to say natural, I looking at the dictionary, it says innately born, innately produced, acquired by birth or from beginningless time. An example is the view of holding one transitory aggregates as oneself or the I as self. So it's something that is there, that passes from life to life when we look at what this natural, non-artificial obstruction is. So let me make sure. Okay?
Amazing.
So it's saying imaho is it doesn't say that in yours. It says aha. So imaho in the Tibetan is an exclamation. You see it actually in the Guru Pujas. You see it in a lot of texts actually, and it's an exclamation of wonder and awe. Like, oh my gosh! It's sometimes they'll put amazing or they'll write amazing. So it's basically just an exclamation of awe, like, oh my gosh. You could translate it as oh my gosh also. So that's basically what it means. And then it says when the wise comprehend. So here in the commentary it's saying that it's amazing to see that when scholars look at this, the difference between the two. So when scholars look at the difference between these two kinds of teachers, meaning those just explain, those who turn away, even if they practice their tradition for a very long time, and then the Buddha. We look at the difference between the two. One has an execution of suffering or an abandonment, and the other continues to suffer. When you look at these two, you see that there's no. Why wouldn't you feel a reverence for the Buddha when you look at what the two have to offer? Why wouldn't this natural respect just happen, or this respect that almost lines up with the awe? So the begins with imaho, like this. Oh my gosh! I'm in awe. Why wouldn't that be your kind of reaction? Why wouldn't you respect something that is so amazing, almost like that? This other translation talks about marrow, chula chuji gumejor. Rinpoche, the inji kejor the nga ni yure, then the cheek. Then the goop, the gul, the rugu nangla, the gu. Yeah, so it speaks of from the middle of your bones. So it speaks, here you say, it says depths, revere from the depths of their being, but it really does speak of bones. So this other translation, very marrow of their bones, is really more literal. Saying like, why wouldn't you revere this person from the marrow of your bones, from your core, basically, once you see this, how amazing this is. Okay. And it could be read different, even translated. Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it there. Digsun.
Sonchu soje
Sonchu songa, sonchu sodru.
Sonchu sodru.
Sonchu songa sar.
Yeah, sonchu sodru de lach. Sonchu sodru ro. Sonchu sodru wade. Otre.
Me Digsun Rinpoche.
Sonchu sodru ro. Nelu jeta, nelu sonchu sodru.
That's the Dayang, the Sonchu songa, the Dayang, Shohungi, Rangi, Dumba, Chodang, that's your
Yeah.
Sonchu songa, the
Sodru ro, sodru.
you know, that's good, Rinpoche. They go. The Dayang, the that's good.
다 어때 차동 조롱제네 어때 봐 매게 봐 대니지 시비 용기 되라 두네비 르 리바양다게 제바나 네 라기 뜬비 손네 레바셰바다 제슈 시르비 시르바텔레 두비 도버라 네비 네도제 고모고 제고바이데사 시르바 다도 루반쟁고are 나비 다도 마루바타고are 안데닐 차바요가르스 차바요바도 와데 셰네 고바제고레스 고바제고데 할레 표준기 때발레스 다는 상지 쇼면데스 안내가 나와 상지바인 상지를 존진적메스 사자술람마다 시르 사자발아서 달라야 长见了说是当恰当几个马的是，没那样。刚些这把点比吃，今天点把用说真是，快些去送下吧得了，2000多呢，俺点把用说这个的是，今天点把用说这些当，没得些就用落来，没多些就用落了，现在那上吧，这工作了，大概这把就是。没得比不下就是搞些当上搞些当把人呐，那我的双节对吧？牵着下很多是，双节送我的牙膏是吧？这人工去了，大概这把就是，先送的是，去这下个吧，哈人全部当是，这没人哈人全部当，他啷些介绍他这前边，他啷些说了。谢多斯
Nietzsche. Becha ni.
不是你了，介绍他这。
Lamrim dang.
俺人全部接没接着的。
Lesso.
我这不是你了，送多。
Then Jelsop Dharmarinchen.
那他啷些接着？那他啷些接
Namgyal Talam. Okay. Tuche. Gonga Okay. So now the next part in the commentary, basically a summary, goes on to say what is the difference between what these two schools teach ultimately? What's the difference? What can we find is the core main difference between Buddhist and non-Buddhist? And it's that in the Buddhist tradition we find that there is an abandonment of the grasping at self as having some sort of true establishment, grasping at true self, whereas in the non-Buddhist tradition, there's a reinforcement of a true self. We find, no matter what, whether we find it within the Samkhya school or the enumerators, where they state that the things are caused from themselves, or the result is right within the cause itself, that things are produced from self, and so forth, and self and other, and both or nothing. So all of these are negated by the Buddhist view, whereas the non-Buddhist view reinforces these, and then and these things are that which give rise to suffering. So no matter how much you think about it, you will arrive at the understanding that, and no matter what way you think about it or how you think about it, you will arrive at a deep sense of respect and reverence for the Buddha for having taught this abandonment of self. When you go, no matter how much you look at it. And then you find these points reinforced in two texts. One is Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim, the stages of the tantric path. Just as a translator's note, it's a text like the Lamrim Chenmo, but it's about Tantra. And the great treatise on the stages of the tantric path is what it's called. And then also in Jelsop J's, it's a text on the Pramanavartika Karika. It's the Namgyal Talam. I don't know the ta means. So tarpa maybe tarpa, maybe liberation. The tarlam tarpalam. Jelsop.
Talang se so the nade sama nade de talang se buju de. Jeto tangji chembe.
Tar. The Injikezugu. Tarpa, okay.
Tabilang.
Okay.
Tabilang so sheba. Talang sages.
So it's something like the Pramanavartika Karika's path to liberation. Namgyal Talam. So anyway, it's by, not anyway, but this text is by Jelsop Dharmarinchen. And so these points are made within that. And I'm going to just leave it at there. I was just going by what I heard Rinpoche reading. Decent. Then a Chusundu, then a Shiloka Sarpa, Levson.
That Chusun to my Chishime, Chashiri, Tanzalong, Yushitan, Tella Chuki, the water, Chu Dalu Mobi Chung.
Okay.
The day you then Pombola, Rina Chasu Song Jujan, you then Chatamate, Yuan Cheda Kachubi, Suki Jun the Manoba, Chela Junze Ijeba, and then Kawazan Jess. What that and my Sombatele. 최소 도마 지시면 최소 도마 사자만 보다 그때 간주 뭐뭐여로 다까 네또 뭐뭐도 기차시고 요 마치시면 차실이 보자 찌기 된다리 쉐바이나야 차시리 된정라 요시장지 개념바 네 전시 주주 도바 인나서 그지래 요시장지 개바니바 인나 개바니바 내년바 달랑 주기 도와들 셀 드부용거레스 지유 달루 모비종 지휘 달루 모비종서 어디 시소나 시두 메시 모바종으로 그러다 시바들 모바들 해도 네버래 그러다 달루 모비종 딘디 유에 봉불라 샤자만 보다 유에지 봉불들라人教送主讲原点恰当马车多是人教送主讲原点恰当马车多是原点也不这么多送的人原讲七大科学比数给军的马弄吧去了中这一切吧那样给我上上些原讲七大科学比那个做的刚刚写个了的七大可能做个了的科学比数给军的马弄吧马是吧公了军的马弄把去了中这一切吧下家们不他去了中这一切吧那样给我上不得上这个都是那样给我上讲接
بس
我顶着吧端吧去接送多嘛对面端都别都要出的话大结果的是我的大结果的是送给茶些人端上了有些当的让人当的年吧得了出去的话都了些多出去的话呢年来的话谁讲荣王三老师出去的话的特别的话来讲呢这个都是三老师那个就按照写着一的话了过的汤我是节约道路目标就节约啥的的是节约这吧呢相信严重于这个是相信严重于这了姑姑的是他三兄的那个对他的是大个路途呢没些比目标中的大个路的那没些目标个女的是这个没吧等着原先就pom不全部端吧原先pom不全部端吧去了看见有点不能教书送啊就讲是最近原先他的大学是下家们不到原先长马学校这个趴下呢大学原先就查些长么这样那个马车的西巴马觉的马些原讲的在云南吃那个科学比数给军的马弄吧那边军的你了端吧去了日本人那个国内中日一起年吧那这样但你给我让不习过鸟多也把这上模式那今年看准备出去送把我的这么些看准备出的啥我的干啥这么些看准备去我的大俺家嘛家呗给下些有了我的这么些我的这种的上模那今年这看准备出去送把马弄把先中啊当端把人了讲完这把些比端多些多是我的这个这把交通起来的
蛮不的추선 두마 치시무 차셰 레이 둔
요새 당지 내냐 봐
근데 돈가 데 대왕 자기 대와 데 then the shera mambo da madana shanchu legare they don't gare
추선 도마 지시면서 봐
the Chuson Duma Chishi
최소 도마 지시면
Shloka
사자만
de.
보다기 비샤 몸보요 몸보시 개차시고 요 말이스 최소 도마 지시면 차시리 된다라 비샤 가시기 된다 시바 이나야 차시리 된다라 요시당지 내내 봐 telāng chūki dewa terārs, pachā kāshī ki tuñā tā ngāpa nyāpa yinā yā, telā sēngil jibu yungu rēs.
Sem Chipo. Shanchu Yomari, Sen Chipo.
Jibu yungu rēs.
Okay, tuche.
Telā chūki dewa terār. Jiyu dālu mōpi chūng, dēndi yuñ tēn pōngbō lā, rēni chāw sōng chē chāng, yuñ tēn chā sōng mā tsē tō. Yuñ chāng chedā kāshū bē, sūki jūnu mā nō bā, chōla chūnzi yī chē bā, ndēyāng kēwā sōng chāng jēs.
That's okay. So now once again there are 3 stanzas that are put together here. So let me read them. Let alone your numerous teachings, even in the meaning of a small part, those who find ascertainment in a cursory way, this brings supreme bliss to them as well. Alas, my mind was defeated by ignorance. Though I've sought refuge for a long time in such an embodiment of excellence, I possess not a fraction of his qualities. Nonetheless, before the stream of this life flowing towards death has come to a cease, that I have found slight faith in you, even this I think fortunate. So here, this is being said with a sense of humility, a sense of without pride. When we look at the commentary, that the reason that this is that I have found slight faith in you, even this I think is fortunate. This is Lama Tsongkhapa showing a sense of ego deflation, a sense of a lack of pride. And let me just read this. No need to speak of many teachings when even a vague understanding of just one facet of your teachings brings supreme delight. I think that maybe is a little clearer. And it's what it's saying is that there's a vast amount of Buddha's pronouncements that are available. And even if you're only able to look at an overview or just look at something, a very small part, just that small amount of review causes a great amount of delight. It says here, it says, this brings supreme bliss to them as well. I asked Rinpoche if this was talking about enlightenment, because it's in English, it says supreme bliss, which usually refers to Buddhahood. And here it's saying, it's speaking of, ultimately everyone becomes a Buddha, of course, but this is speaking of just a delight in the mind, having a bliss of the mind. And then the next stanza, alas, my mind is marred by ignorance. Although I have long since taken refuge in the bounty of your excellence, I have yet to gain even its smallest part. One, two, three, four. Rinpoche, the donagare yunten chatsam matse do.
Yunten chatsam matse do.
The donagare, the tsik donagare yunten chatsam matse do.
The yunten pumula rini chao songju jang sajamane boda yunten pumudala rini chao songju jang ne yunten chatsam matse do. Ne yunten
Okay, so it reads in the Tibetan that the fraction of your qualities. So it's speaking. So looking at the literal, this is correct. In such an embodiment of excellence, I possess not a fraction of his qualities. So it's saying that even though I've taken refuge over and over for a very long time, I only possess a very small portion of what the Buddha's excellent qualities are. I have only the smallest bit of excellence, that even though for very long I've engaged in refuge, I have only a small excellence compared to the Buddha, who has vast excellence. And then the last stanza, nonetheless, But before the stream of life runs out, as it courses towards the Lord of Death, I am thinking how fortunate to have gained just a little faith in you. So here, this is that sense of humility that... I'm using the commentary. I'm using both texts, but I'm interweaving the Rinpoche and this text commentary. So I'm not just using the books and then moving on. I'm using the commentary interwoven into it, because I'm finding that this is helping with Rinpoche's explanation quite a bit. Because they get into the etymology in this book of the words, so that's you can tell they've ripped these words apart, and it's really helpful for me as a translator. I hope it's not distracting, using this as a reference. Okay, Ngay Tsampa Kanga Lasung.
Yeah, tene.
Where are we?
37.
637. I'm looking at the commentary.
Ta tuan duwa tene, sumba tuan duwa. Sumba tuan duwa ne, tuan bi na na tuan di tuwa batang, shiro na na tuan di shiba ni, jiten ta na jayu ongpo shin, pyujung le para Chen Chen Jimmy. What take it to that my doing somewhere is it? To that, don't do on this. Don't be nana, tended to batons. Treat don't be nana, tended somebody as you is. Don't be nana, tended to batons, tended to tended the one you want to treat on. Tended the one to Tenzin Deban Juan Tona Tishiba Tongo said, what to lay the Marbeta. Don't be nana, tended to Batans. Should don't be nana, tended to get what they are should race. Don't be nana, tended to Batan. Shiro nana, tended Shiba. Shiro Mamu, you are the tended Shiba Shiro they are should race. Shiro nana, tended Shiba ni, Jident on the Jayu Ombojins, Jident on the Jayu Ombo. Jayu Ombojin, Pujun Lever, Churchin. Genji means Jayong Shajaman Budale, Chemba Yoro, Chemba de Shajaman Budal Genle, Ne Yoma, Genle, Shajaman Budal Habi Yomarwata. Pijun Leber Chuchen, Genji means Gendal Yomaris.
Megenda the Jelpi Wombo Yomare.
Oh.
Okay. The Jikten Jelpi Wombo Megenda Yomare.
Tembi nan tendi tumba tang, shiro nan tendi sheba ni, jiten tan jayu yongbo jins, jayu yongbo, ane jayu yongbo shajaman buddha tabu
Kuna.
Lukon.
Okay.
Yongbo jins, example.
Example. Alesso. Kuna. Example yine kuna.
Pijun lebar,
Okay.
chue chen jenji means, pijun lebar, shajaman buddha chue ji chenpa najin, na wate jenda ke, shigo mares, jenji me. What the 20 they were sata.
Oh, the Bujung Le Par Shu Chen Jin Ji Min. The
Pijun lebar chue chen.
Shilopa.
What the natural galo lebar the shajaman buddha chue chengu wares. Jengi chengu mares.
Okay. Tu Chena. All right. Among number 37, among teachers, the teacher of dependent origination. Amongst wisdoms, the knowledge of dependent origination. You are the most excellent, like the king in the worlds, know this perfectly well, not others. So it's saying that if we're looking among teachers, Buddha Shakyamuni is the only teacher who has the knowledge of the nature of reality. He alone is the holder of this knowledge. Amongst wisdom, the knowledge of dependent origination. Because the Buddha has realized dependent origination, he can teach dependent origination. And others cannot do so because it says, know this perfectly well, not others. This is meaning he knows dependent origination perfectly. Others do not. Others do not have this understanding that Buddha Shakyamuni has. So I'm going to read this other translation just to see if it gives more of that feeling that others don't know dependent origination. Among teachings, the teaching on dependent arising. Among types of wisdom, wisdom of a dependent arising. Like the Buddha in the many worlds, you and no others know these to be completely supreme. Ooh, that's totally different. Like the Buddhas in the many worlds. No, that's not what it says. It says you who are like, that this is incorrect now. That's why you need like 3 translations. It uses the example, because there's not a king of all the worlds, a king of the worlds, it's saying that, it's using that example to show how special Buddha Shakyamuni is. So it's saying that you're like the king of the worlds. There's no other king of the worlds. And because there's no other king of the worlds, there's no other knower of dependent origination. There's no more supreme teacher because of dependent origination that the Buddha teaches. So that's what it reads. It should read that. You are most excellent, like the king in the worlds, king of the worlds. Know this perfectly well, not others. And others don't know, don't have an understanding of dependent origination. Jigtenda. You are most excellent. Jigtendan Jopi. Yeah, it definitely says your knowing this is makes you like the king of all of the worlds. Yeah. Okay, Dixon.
What that may be known as the Shironan, Tendishiban, Jinetana, Opposition, Pigeon Lepa, Judgment, Chebon, don't be known, Tendis, don't but dance, don't be known the Tendis number the Ajuris, Shironan, Tendishibate, Shiro. Nibutini Ajutini, Bena, Jidetana Jayu Ombo, Sanji, Yin, Jen Gunji, Chabado, Papa Yimba Dijin Dos, Jidetana Jayu Ombo, Pigeon Leva Churches at the Redwa, and Jidetana Jayu Ombo, Sanji, Jen Gunli, Chabado Papa, Sanji, Dojen, Samali, Shabado Naba Samali, Chabado Pagarota. 야주로 파바 대진도 대니가라 젠레 퓨드 중앙 레바 임바 점바초 코네 체인지스 표준 레바 최진 젠지메스 사자만 보다 저런 코네 체인베라마도 젠다 체인 말이스 코네 체인지 페바 점바 젠지 서자소 장전라서부터 시그 말이스 Tata Shiba Maino. Chushu Ndatan, Jawan Tere, Jawan ki Chushu Ndatan, Tendi Tebatan, Jawan ki Tere, Pujun Lebara Shen Jongyan, Sombon Tubulala, Leba Chuchin Sheba Ne, Deshin Leba Sentes, what the Pachan Damana do, what the Chuchin said, Deshi Danaja, the Abbot on it. Sente laba ne yin shibitun yin bi shiros laba pijun leba chujin yin jimi jiden tanda jayu ombo yin pijun leba chujin yin jimi laba sate taman la sate do wati tunta tin sare shibitun yin bi shiros
Lapa ni yin she Lapa?
Tendi Deba, the Shironan, Tendi Shiban, Jinetana, Jayum, which Pigeon Leba Chujin, Jenjime, Chibon, Tembinan, Tendi Twentambatan, Shironan, Tendi Shibi, Shiro, Nibut, Jinetana, Jayumbo, Saji Ni, Gune, Chebatu Papa, Yemba Tejinto, Teniga, Jenle Pudushun, Laba. Pudujuma Labas, Pudujuma. Labas at the Rendo, Pudujuma res, Labat Imba, Tambacho Kone changes, and the Sanji Kona Chajaman Buddha Kone Changamadu, Pebon, Temba Yenji, Sajala Suba, Jella Suba, Tezuki, Shigmaris, Maino, Chushan Detan, Jawangi terrorists, and then tended to Bandetan, Jawangi terror, Pujun Le, Barashin Joyan, Somo Tobo Lala, Laba Church, Laba Chen, Laba Church, Shebane, the Dishin, Teba Sanders, Laba said, Debudus Mando. Laba ne inshi between Imbisharos.
Lapa Dona NGK Lapa.
Laba there is a Tagonde.
This is just one word that's hanging me up. It's a problem. I was just seeing if it was within this. It's not, of course. Okay, so what is the difference? It's saying here that the difference is that when what happens at the point of becoming an Arya, when one sees the nature of reality, sees dependent origination, we don't find that it says in this that the Buddha Shakyamuni is the only knower in terms of those who have taught or not taught, the only knower of dependent origination. We don't find this in other schools such as the Samkhya school, the enumerators, or others. We find this solely in the Buddhist tradition pronounced by Lord Buddha. And Rinpoche mentioned before, I forgot to translate, that once you see, we find in the text that once you see dependent origination, you see the Buddha. So by seeing emptiness, you see the Buddha, meaning that the pith of what the Buddha presented is the dependent origination, is emptiness. So among teaching, the teaching on dependent origination, among types of wisdom, the wisdom of dependent arising, you who are most excellent, like the king in the worlds, know these perfectly well, not others. Know dependent origination. Teach dependent origination. Ngay tsampa kanga yine.
Oh yeah.
Chi shena chi nif jason. The mambo yure pojungi. Lapa is it donda NGK zuma song.
There is a Gijat Labas. Shesaro Madu, there is a word.
Lapa shena.
Oh, Shesaro, Shesa.
Okay.
There is the Yimba La,
It's-
Yimba La.
oh, this is the
Yimba.
reason it is said. Okay, it didn't even matter. Okay. The name Nipa Den.
Saji Yimba Lenodua.
Okay.
Yimba Tendi Jugune, Sheda to Tobala Sons, Tendi Jugune, Shetoba, Sheda Toba Ninganone, Yimba Tendi Jugune, Sheda Tobala Saji Sonchi, Tendi Sombi Gobaji, Tobi Goba, Toba Jebi, Tu Jeju, Tobi Goba Jatu, Monsos, Tambula Sons,
That's
Tendi.
Kanga Zugu. Okay, so now we get into the second part, Gonga Mebichig Rinpoche. When we look at the two parts, we had general and specific. If we go way back, we had these major categories of the general and then specific. Now we get into specific. So that, I guess that was just general before. So now we're going to get into the specifics of the praise of dependent origination. And it says that the specific section, which is section number 2, has 3 categories. The first category, Dendel Sumbi Gupa, the need for teaching dependent origination, something like this, need, or the Gupa, the Jutsun, the Dandra.
Goba.
Gu. Nga the chu gu gupa. Need. Okay, tuchena. Then tupi gomba the tupi gomba dopa shepi
Gomba
tu
Tobi,
jesu.
Tu Jesus.
The donagare.
Tu Jesus on the go. Tobi Gomba tuba jebe tu jeju song du sanlu dang su je marbe tu jeju tubi gomba cha chu ngon sos
Maybe the explanation of the arisal of this Tupi Gomba Setsu.
tubi gomba
Tupi.
cha chu ngon
Tupi.
sos cha chu ngon so cha wa tuan ji ngon ngon
Jakata.
tambo tende son wala tende son bi gone son bi goba de la son re do tambo la son tabi che du chu den chu
Good. Keep doing that.
tenbi chu zemba ko tu tenba ni ji chewa she ba os sa je son de do tambo de la
Okay, 2 the 5 times. Okay, 2. Okay, so 2 is mind. That's what I thought. Okay, so the first category is the need for presenting dependent origination. Oh, it's not spelled the same. 2p. It's not in here. Great. That's cool, Rinpoche. Gonga Mepachi. Is anything in this? Okay, so it's not going to have that. So as we'll go through it, I'll find more. It's just the main word in the sentence I don't know the meaning of. Tupi? Tupi Sena Rinpoche? Tu ma sem?
shajaman boda ro shajaman boda
Shacha tupa. Ale,
Shacha
gonga
tupa.
mebachi. Tupi gomba dopa shat tu jetsu. So how Buddha Shakyamuni realized this, the explanation of how Buddha Shakyamuni realized this, and then Tupi gomba setsu, Tupi gomba.
cha chu ngon so
The chapa nipa dan sumba chapa gare.
tubi gomba tuba jebe tu je ju ji sang dang su de ro tubi gomba zhe ju tubi gomba de gan de re do da ji gan de xie gu re zhe ju zhe ma da do ngo so os
So the explanation of the realization and then how. I think it's explanation of the realization and then how. We'll see when we get to it. But the reason for it, the explanation of the realization, and the explanation of how that realization takes place. Then the first one has 3 categories. Tarpi Chedu Chudensu.
tabi je de chu den su taba tubi je de chu song bi chu den bi chu
Tarpi Chedu
taba tang ji je ba gu mo tubi che do an chu den su chu song su
Tambo. So the first is the explanation of how liberation relies on this. And then the second is bar.
tenbi chu den ba gu tu tenbi chu den ge no del ko ba te ba je ga ro ta ko bi chu
So the next is by relying on this dharma, then you'll have a respect will arise. Respect will arise, and then how respect arises. Denba ni.
tenbi ni ji chwa she ba sang ji ge tenba ge yuen den chwa she ba chwa she ba wo de so wo ro ta
And then an explanation of the greatness of Denigi, the explanation of the greatness, something like this, the explanation of the greatness. Yeah, in order to do this, I would need a real dictionary. Then not one of the words I've looked up so far is in this, so it's not working out.
tambo tabi je de chu den su de ne yong wa tabi je de chu den bi chu de
So we're in the first category of the first section, which is the need for this explanation.
chu ji je ni ka ze ba Tendi Nil Tantu, Tian Yangan Dashete, Sheju Menzi Chulame, Jamba Sheju Menzi Chulame, Sidwa, Sheju Menzi Chulame, Sonju Juji. What about the rain was Sheju Menzi Chulame?
Shiloka Chi.
Chuji Nika Zeba, Tendi Nil Tantu, Shajaman Buddha Chuji, and Chukarasum by the Tendil Tan Sonja Shadaris, Tendi Nil Tantu. Tian Yangan Deshe, Tabatubi Chetures, Yangan Deshe, Sheju Menzi Chulame, Shenjuru. Nyomo was she about the show, Zeba, Sheju Menzeba Chul Yomaris, Shejur, Tabat Hanjibu to be Chetu Suma Shadare, the Maibi, Yenda Sungu Maris, Shenjuru, Shejur means Chulamas. Tabat Tanji Chetu Sonja Konaris, Yenda Gobajenda Sungu Maris.
Less so. Okay, so so now we move on to stanza number 38, which will fall categorically under the first category of that first category in this section 2 of the specifics. So it says, everything you taught is based on dependent arising, designed to affect nirvana, and your every deed to yield nothing but peace. Sorry, wrong text. All you have taught proceeds by way of dependent origination. That too is done for the sake of nirvana. You have no deeds that do not bring peace. So everything that the Buddha has taught is for the sake of achieving liberation, for the sake of getting rid of all the afflictive obstructions and the obstructions to omniscience, for the sake of becoming a Buddha. So the Buddha has not taught the things that have been taught for any other reason. So the sole purpose of the Buddha's teachings were to achieve liberation. They weren't taught for any other reason. So it's saying that everything the Buddha ever did was to bring about liberation for, in the case of the Buddha, for all beings once he became a Buddha. But every deed that the Buddha did was only for the sake of achieving liberation. So yield nothing but peace. So everything that the Buddha teaches, when you do it, it is for you to become a Buddha. There's no other reason the Buddha teaches than that. So the presentation has been for that reason alone, for achieving liberation and then omniscience, ultimately. Tamche Chemba. Omniscience is the ultimate goal. Okay, Diksung Rinpoche.
Yeah.
Tutska, Dene.
That's the son of Jemo was the leader.
Jemo Shepa, Shema.
Jemo Chuji Temba Ne, Jemo Chuji Temba Ne, Kangi Nayu Lansua, Tada Tanji Shenju Shir, Chedin Zimba Sumugus, Chedin Zimba Sumugus.
What is it?
Jemo Danyang Gdan Jimada, Jemo Chuji Temba, Shajaman Buddha Chuji Temba, Longi Temba, Tubi Temba Ne, Kangi Nayu, Duja Kangi Nayu Lansua, Anul Gobaina, Nayu Lansua. Tada Tanji Shenju, and Shajaman Buddha Londu Temba de Kansa Su Goba Anjul Gobaina, Tada Tanji Tabat Tanji Shabal Lugres, Shenju Shir. Chedin Zimba Sumugus, Shajaman Buddha Chuju Londu Temba Zimbale, Sumugus, Tama Gugres, Debajigres, Sumugus Gugres.
Okay, so now we move on to Jamie Sheba. Very strange. That's it can sabudu. Let's go. Jamie Jugi Demba ne Gangi Nebi. Vigare Rinpoche, Jamie Shepa, Jirmepa, Moonba, Shuba, Ngutsa chewa. They got it.
다 지마오서 되게 되시로 되시. 지마오시 받는 거야 요라스. 심해라 당내야되네. 지마오서 되게 거야 요라스. 해봐당스. 하나저발래 거야 요라스. 데디케이션. 정보 생 정보래 거야 요라스. 못사치월래 거야 요라스. 어떻게 들 고마 부시기도 하다.
The chia meba, mumba, shumba. Gosh, the gosh in it.
제마세야 된다 되는 거야 요라스.
Ale,
제마오 최주 된반. 제마세야 되게 된다.
ale.
मेरा ताले को जो आरे मना जबले को जो आरे सैन शुंबले को जो आरे मुझसे चवले को जो आरे.
Okay, so it just the commentaries just suddenly is written in a different way. I don't. So now we're on stanza number 39. But I just mismarked this. Yeah, stanza number 39. Alas, your teaching is such, in whoever's ears it falls, they all attain peace. So who would not be honored to uphold your teaching? Let me just read this other one. Oh, how marvelous your teachings are, since they bring peace to all whose ears they reach. Who would not want to uphold them reverently? So, these teachings, which are given for one purpose, bring that purpose to fruition to those who hear these teachings and then follow them. But it says, since they bring peace to all whose ears they reach. So hearing these teachings are what allows you to achieve liberation, achieve the state of omniscience. Now, translators note, you have to obviously not just hear, it doesn't mean just hearing them and you're fine. It means it's inferred that there's implementation. You're hearing them. Hearing means you're taking them in, and then there's implementation. So it doesn't mean just if you sit there, you're going to be liberated and achieve omniscience. It means that these words are what will bring about that transformation. Oh, how marvelous your teachings are, since they bring peace to all whose ears they reach, who would not want to uphold them reverently. And then it's saying, it's marvelous aspiration. I don't really understand how this is written. I'm gonna choose to just leave this out because I don't really understand it. It says something like dedication, aspiration. Let me see. I just want to make sure. Oh, how marvelous your teachings are. They are marvelous. Oh, I see. And then it's saying, what is marvelous? Shir Mepa. Shir Mepa, Sena Rinpoche? They are not... they are free of wrong. They are maybe free of distraction or free of things that are wrong. They are an aspiration. They are amazing. So it's just saying what this word marvelous, why this word marvelous is being used in the Tibetan, the Chenmo. So it's saying what is marvelous. It's marvelous that it's free of error, free of negativity, is aspiring to something, is stable, is amazing. Okay?
What Jim Hebaton, Shumbatan, Mosachewa, Nalan Jubale.
Let's move on.
Then the Shema was Mosachewa del Coris, Emon said. Mosachewa del Coris. The Shema was. Teba Church Longi, Tembane, Duja Gangi, Nayu, Radu Soyu, Duja Teda, Tanji Shiwan Yangalan de Batuban Ju Shena, Temba Chuji, Temba Zebane, Sushim Good, Good is all. the Jawan Ter Treatise Temba she be done you want Tana, Longi Temba she be doing Imba, and Treatin Zimba, Tabu Nosa. That Temba Treatin Zimba, some with Tembas, Sanjik Temba, Longi Temba to be Temba New, Longi Temba, can you thank you to the Longi Temba?
That's good.
Can you thank you to the Longi Temba? Sanjik Temba to the Nima to your mother, to be Temba to Longi Temba.
Bless so.
To be Temba there. Nelan to say that and got the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Mediswa, Solan, Mululan to be Temba Lagre.
Solan dopi demba.
So he day.
Ale, tonlan gutso yomari.
Solan to Golan, Tolan Malulan to be Temba Lagre.
Ale, tuchi.
Not to Jula Eurota, and Chutin. And what the Tanga to Special Santa to the long temple to be Temba Marbet.
The Yanja Surinang?
And got to Special Santa, Gisanta the road. Sanlu to be Temba, to be Temba. To be Temba, Hasun Yalan, to teach Yalan, Tingazi Yalan, Shero Yalan to so, and to be Temba Seres.
Okay. So, when we look at dividing things into categories, we can divide truth, this word, the truths, it'll make sense in a minute, truth into two categories, scriptural truth and realizational truth. Scriptural truth is that which is presented in the Kangjur and the Tanjur, the pronouncements of Lord Buddha in the authentic Indian commentaries. A realizational truth refers to the paths, such as the path of accumulation, the path of preparation, the path of seeing, path of meditation, path of no more learning. In the Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge, we find the mantra Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangati Bodhisoha. This mantra is referring to those 5 pathways that are realizational truth. Sometimes doctrine, it's translated as scriptural doctrine, realizational doctrine, but the word demba means truth, really, so I always translate it as truth. And then the realizational is also when we're practicing, when we're thinking of the teachings, for instance, when we're practicing ethics, when we're practicing generosity and so forth. This would be realizational doctrine. This would be the realizational practices. So that's divided up. And it says dun Dumba chuji lungi demba ne dolja gangi nawe lam the donagare du son de lapsar.
What does Anjul Gogrota? Longi temba kanju Anjul Gogro.
Lesso.
Chuji Longi temba Duja Gangi, Nayu Landu Swan. Soyu Duja Teda, Tanji Shiva, Yangalin, Tubi Shena. Sanji Longi temba Anjul Gosu Gogan Tabat Tanjeba Rogota.
So all of these I see. So all of these things have been spoken by the Buddha for the sake of one achieving nirvana, for the sake of one achieving liberation and omniscience. So all of these words that have presented are for that reason. So whenever they fall on someone's ears, then this allows him or her to achieve those goals. So what falls on his or her ears? The scriptural doctrine is what falls. So when that's the meaning. That's why we were looking at the realizational doctrine and the scriptural doctrine. It's the scriptural doctrine that can fall on someone's ears, as it says here. And that's referring to whoever hears the Khensur, whoever hears the Tenzin, your teaching, alas, your teaching is the Khensur, pronouncements of Lord Buddha, and the explanation of your teaching is the Tenzin, the authentic Indian commentaries. So whenever anyone hears that, which has been presented by you, there's a cause for them to achieve peace. Here, peace means nirvana or liberation. So who would not be honored to uphold your teaching? So here, there's out of respect. One should respect because of this, knowing this, that this is so valuable that it allows one to achieve peace. They all attain peace because of hearing the Khensur and Tenzin. Diksun.
다 송바 페고살해 말바. 페고
Peguta.
타단 종바당 따운게도 동바당 지구든이 뜻이바 론도 쿠조 페스. 페고 타단 종바당서 다 성지 가서 그래. 론도기 대반장래 저게나 근데 페지고와 시려발라서 강한 종토그래서 종바당 따운게도 동바 버차트 다만 따로 송사바도 우로 송사바도 게와요 말했어.
Junyo Mare.
따운 게도 동바당 게와게 동바래서 게와요 말했어.
Ale.
게도 동바당 지구든 이따지바 안에 지구들 라던데 제도니가 용거래서 들라테네 지구든 이따지바 론더 고조아비스 제답이 로들라 나 가부도스 조아피스.
Okay, so now stanza number 40. It overcomes all opposing challenges. It's free from contradictions between earlier and latter points. It grants fulfillment of being's two aims. For this system, my joy increases evermore. And then this alternative translation, this system free from contradiction from top to bottom. Definitely the top to bottom is in the Tibetan, because Rinpoche was saying if you go from the very top to the very bottom, and that meaning everything, you look at all of it, you'll find that there's no contradiction. It's all for this purpose that has been mentioned before of the achievement of nirvana. Overcomes this system free from contradiction from top to bottom, overcomes all rivals and grants to beings the two goals. In this I take increasing delight, or my joy increases ever more and more. My joy increases. That's Rinpoche gave no commentary. Diksung. Losong. Jipju losong. Pegu Ngatsu shiloka jipju lepsong.
Shiloka jipju. Yeah.
Hey jipju jichi, yene shiloka jipju.
Pegu tadan 좀 로타로.
Pegu data the losar. Yene the mute la sopa pegi lomason.
Matila so shiru matipala soba. Peje guatada jomba dans. Wade 가서 그래. 근데 그 로나 제게 나왔대 shiru matipala soba guada gal nöne 그래서 종바당. 따고 게도 버차 또 뜰리 셰샤바당. 올리 셰샤발은 게와요 말레스. 게와가 동바레스 게도 매바당스. 제구 거봐. 내가 다도 그 돈이 떠와셔봐스. 돈이 떠와셔봐. 제구 안에 나도 내가 다도 거봐도 용거래서 그래. 내가 라면 그 다바 당지 잡아 다도 인지로 봐. 최지 최주 송된지 론더 고로동 잡이 빼 좋아천 펠로스 안에 어디 사지고 송도서 가부 용도스 좋아 최실 펠로스 론더 고 좋아 페서 도들에도와.
So this just basically reiterates that when we look at this system specifically, meaning not other systems, just looking specifically at this system from top to bottom, we'll find that there is no contradiction anywhere. It's not existent. So once this takes place, you realize that it overcomes all the non-Buddhist traditions because there are no contradictions, and and therefore you gain a sense of respect for it, and by partaking in it, it causes you to become joyful, causes you to delight in it. And then it says grants to beings the two goals. So the two goals are the realizing the needs of yourself, and then the realizing the needs of others. By engaging in the practice of the Buddhist system, it allows you to achieve your own aims and the aims of others. And it says, in this I take increasing delight. So once this becomes concrete and understood, and you've looked at the Buddhist doctrine from top to bottom, you'll find that it overcomes, or supersedes the non-Buddhist traditions, or it surpasses in accuracy, in terms of accuracy, the non-Buddhist systems, because it grants those two goals, and as a result, joy comes in the practitioner by knowing this. Digsung Rinpoche.
Yeah. Tanjiba Lendriba, ne? Nibala ni Tubi Neji Ruju, Tetuba Jetu, Tetuba Jeba Jetar Chontu, Nire Duani, Nibala ni Tumbi Neji Ruju, Tetuba Jeba Jetar Chontu, Sajini Jene, Sambo de Dishe de Chujene, la Lago de Jendusu, Tubi Nye dans l'Onshu Su, Jamais Keba Yang Tang. Tubi Neji Rubi Chudo, Teredua.
Okay, so now we're on the second category of those three mentioned before, and the second category has two categories, and the first category among the two begins with the stanza number 40, I think. Hold on. No, 41. So stanza number 41, De Yi. For its sake you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, at others your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. And then this alternative, for its sake you gave again and again over countless eons, at times your body, at times your life, your dear family, and ample wealth. So this is Tupe, Tupe, Nanden Gi Jutsu. So the explanation of Buddha's establishment, I think, is this first category or something like this. And then it says what you did for its sake, you gave away. Okay, then the Shiloka Losong Kona. The Ni, then Shiloka Losong.
Tubi Neji Rutu, Tambaji, Tetuba Jeba Jeta Chontu, Nebaji Tambo, Tubi Neji Rubi Chutenderedua. Di Shet Chujene, La Lakota Gentu, Tubi Nietan Longshu, Jamaica Yan dance, Jamaica Yan dance, Tubi Neji Rubi, Shajaman Buddha Guade, Di Shet Chujene, that Tabat Sanji to be Cheto, and Shajaman Buddha Chuje, Lala Kotan, Jean to Su, that Lulong Jibataya, Tamul Lugia, Tamul Lugian, Bull Giando, what the lady Marba, Lala Kotan, Jean to Su in Jimbatan, Tamul Lugian to Su Jimbatano. To be near down Longshu to, since near down Longshu to Jamaica Keba Jamela, and the Jimbatan was Jamaica Yan dance. What the Tawati, that debated and the 10 days, Chini Samunde, say she to 10 days, Chini Samunde, say she Cheto, Jamba Chuchi, Tuitan, Nego Lala, Rangi, Good losing bataya, Dam losing. Dujian Sudan, here to do in Pudan, Chomala Soba to Jimbataya, Yen dance, say, and then say Jimbataya, Kujimbata, say good name, Kamba Jimbata, name Jumbala Soba Tata, Tala Soba Lonshe, two now. Zhang Mei Geba, Lanji Zhang Maimba, Yang Dang Yang Do, Jimba Tang Yuaris. Then Zhang Lun Su Ne, Sheba Ter, Nodin Zhang Lun Su, Gaji Yuro. Zhang Lun Su Ne, Sheba Najiris, Sheba Ter. Chu Ji Re, Shedo, Lu Jazi, Dong Daba Dance, Chu Ji Ji Yebi Chedo, Lu La Jazi, Dong Daba Dance, Mame, Dong Zuba Dance, Me Cheba La Suba. And then as a bell, what Lu May Sagan to attend up and Rem. Lu Metua, what the Jigge. Mame Dong Zuba Dance. Merchebala Soba Osa.
Dondagare. Merme ton suba
Mama don't Soba so the Chimo Bend is mid Sagro.
Sawa.
Sit. May Sigrot, May. Mama don't Soba, so Mama Kendo Marva, Kendo don't then the wool to Sigrot. Mama don't Sobata Merchebala Subasa and Lil Maban Chebambiala Suba. Soba Wosa.
Okay. So
To be in a range to be to the
So it says, for its sake you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, at others your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. The Rinpoche, Dei Cheer the Dendel?
Kaba.
The Dei Cheer
They should do Chujines.
the Dendel?
Sanjay going to be said.
Sanjay Kopam. Okay. I wanted to check. For its sake you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, at others your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. So I was just asking Rinpoche if what its sake was for.
Then they choose someone the say shadows in the world do that. Then they choose someone the say shadow. Then they choose someone the my ship shadow. And then
Denda.
Then they do that. Then they image you send them Marubala so that's a shabby shadow. And then number choose it and then losing but
Less so.
No shame but now.
Less so.
What do they do?
Oh, Tuchena, Ngay June. So, for its sake you have given away. So, what is its sake? Rinpoche said ultimately this is for becoming liberated and for the sake of becoming liberated, for the sake of achieving omniscience. But when we look at the commentary, we say for its sake, it's speaking of the guarding of the subtle or profound view of dependent origination. So it's saying that because things are not truly established, because they dependently originate, therefore they are empty. These statements, these facts are what its can be referring to. And it says, Dendelgi Chutsamo. It's this most subtle dharma of dependent origination that the Buddha has. It says again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, given away your body. So before we heard the story of the Buddha's previous life when he gave his own flesh to the tiger cub in Nepal, to the tiger and her cubs. So here that's an example of giving away his body. And at others your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. So it just kind of reiterates that for the sake of this profound teaching of dependent origination, the Buddha was willing to give his own flesh, give his own body, give his own family, give whatever it took for the sake of this profound view. And It says and did these duties or did these tasks of giving away for the sake of dependent origination for countless eons, drang mepa. So eons that are countless eons. He did this in order to ultimately become a Buddha, but for the sake of for its sake is dependent origination, because that's the pith of the Buddha. Once you see dependent origination, you see the Buddha. Rinpoche ngatsu karma junga then sa. Mambo the Shiloka Mambo needs something.
Okay.
So maybe we'll end there, because the next part gets into a double stanza again, and we only have about 15 minutes. Yeah, so we'll end there. So we're at stanza number...
42 is where we'll pick up.
We will pick up at 42. Okay, let me mark these so we... 40, 41, each here, and then 42, 43, and 44, I think, are all together. Yeah. Okay, so we'll end there. We'll do the concluding mandal offering and dedication prayer. And just give me 1 second. Make sure these aren't out of order. Okay, perfect. Where's the mandal offering and dedication prayer? Someone want to start that? Fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the teachings of sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri, and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds in that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, the source of all happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Gyatso may stay until samsara descent. Pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wanda, holder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, the spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denunang.
Otu chena.
Matsu Dendel Doba Dan Lamrim Chimo Chiro Nang.